Woo!
Yeah.
Happy Thursday, fellas. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today? My name is Jonathan with Cinco Squad. I got Mike DeSanto, Grandpa Jay, and Pat in the Hat will not be here tonight. He's actually closing on his house tomorrow, so best of luck to him tomorrow in the closing. Congrats to him. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing tonight?
Big John, what's up?
Doing well, doing well, doing well.
Man, Jay, I don't know about you up in Tampa, but it's been gloomy the last like 4 or 5 days here.
We actually got a couple swims in surprisingly during the week, but today we got canceled out right around 6, and so I had to take the kids in the gym and have some fun doing some work on the deck. We call it dry land and swimming. Everybody else just calls it working out.
Well, John, up here, I know you remember it from your Syracuse days. We've officially hit September, which is today was 62 degrees as a high. Next Wednesday, 88. Fall's here, but it's not here, but it's here.
Well, hopefully it's in that 66 when I come up there in 2 weeks.
Was it foggy down by you this morning, John? Like fog this morning? It's very similar. Like, I don't like this. I'm like, this is so mystic. It just fog setting all over, and all of a sudden it was getting darker instead of getting light for sunrise. It was crazy.
That's how it felt up in Denver the whole time, man. I was there. If everyone doesn't know, my wife and I took a trip up to Denver, Estes Park, Colorado. Definitely recommend it. The whole time we were driving through, cloudy. But then there was this cool photo, and I'll send it to you guys. But it was a cool photo of us like over on top of the clouds.
Yeah,
it was like really cool. I was freaking out, but because I'm scared of heights. But we were at 12,000 or 13,000 feet, but it was crazy. But yeah, it was like that's how I felt there. And then I think it was like I told her it's the gods of Estes Park telling us to come back, because our last day when we were about to leave to the airport, it was sunny and beautiful, and you could see all the mountains all around. I'm like, damn, this is how we wanted it the whole time. But boys, it's been a good week so far. I mean, we had a lot of sports. Our Yankees.
Good week for your Yankees. Finally, is this like the first good week since the All-Star break for you guys?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We got a few of Mike's family. Garrick tuning in. What's up, Garrick? How you doing, man?
Hey.
What a great Thursday. Cinco Squad, and thank you, Garrick. Of course.
Cinco
Squad over Thursday Night Football.
Big
TNF
game tonight, though. Big TNF game.
Yes, sir. It's on right now. Chargers up 3-0 right now.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a solid game. I mean, this could be like AFC divisional rounds coming down. So
what are you getting it on? Do you have Prime? Are you watching it on Prime? What are you watching?
Yeah, I'm watching on Prime right now. That's the only thing it's on. That I know of, unless you like bought the NFL package or whatnot.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But speaking about football, we had our first week of Cinco Squad Fantasy Football League.
I'm a little thirsty, though.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Sorry. What you sipping on is the – of course, I forgot that. My bad. Pat's not here. I'm getting all flustered, right?
Pat would be like burping, like in Barney and the Sims. It'd be like, come on, bro. Don't miss out on my favorite segment.
He's like, what? I got to get to a computer. Mike, I'm always interested to hear what you're drinking tonight. You said you went to Burn Dairy today, so I got to know, what are you sipping on, brother?
I am sipping on a Bud Light Seltzer hard soda.
Ooh.
Classic cola.
Isn't that what I got, kind of, the last time, or no?
Kind of. Except for you got a fruity one.
Yeah.
Let me see the can. Oh, it's a hard soda. Okay.
Hard soda. So it's like, essentially, it's like alcoholic Coke.
Oh, nice.
That sounds really interesting. It's like does it taste like rum and Coke? What does it taste like?
More or less, yeah. Actually, it does taste like rum and Coke. I won't lie. I've had this before, which is why I got it, because I couldn't find anything new. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, it essentially tastes like a rum and Coke.
Nice.
That's cool.
Nice.
Jay.
Yes, sir.
What you sipping on?
Well, I got me a little Jamaican restaurant around the corner from me called Irie Bay. So when I went the other day, I saw one of these drinks I haven't had in a long time called Ting, which is a sparkling grapefruit drink. It's one of those drinks that just hits your lips. Oh, man, it's just so tasty. So it's like a grapefruit soda, but it tastes really good. So I'm going soft tonight. And when and the thing is, when you chair a Ting bottle, it actually goes Ting. You're like, oh, I wonder why they named it Ting because of the chairs. But it's some good ting, guys. John, what's going on, bro?
Well, I don't have anything tonight. I drink a lot up in the mountains, so I'm sending my
jug.
Metal milk jug.
I'm not gonna go too loud. My wife is
Ping, ping, ping.
she's gotta be up at 4 a.m. So I'm gonna try to keep it light tonight. I'm gonna ding.
Ding, ding, round one.
She's gonna go ding ding, right? Exactly. Ding ding.
Come on, that's good content.
John's gonna be standing there like 80. Wifey comes in, I'd leave you on belly, just see a fist coming. Boom. See ya.
That is the first and frankly only clip I would be cutting out this week.
Yeah.
for the rest of our shows. That's how we enter. Okay, now let me get to the football.
Yes,
let me get to the Cinco Squad Fantasy Football League because it was a good week. It was a good week.
The three of us, it was a good week, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And Trey.
That's right. Yeah.
So I took out Pat in the Hat. 162 to 106.
Big win.
And I am the champion of the league right now in points. I am leading the league in points. Thank you. Yeah. Mike barely beat my father by 2.98 points.
Close game.
Wow. But I will give both of them credit. A couple other players, and I had Dawson Knox in my other did not perform to full potential. I mean, who would have thought Green Bay would have got wiped out the way they did?
Like 3 points for Aaron Rodgers or 4 points for Aaron Rodgers in his first game? That's nuts.
That's terrible. Mr. Cinco defeated Rick Tompkins 158 to 27. Tyler Malfa defeated OP 157 142. And then Jay's Cool to Chase defeated Fonz 145 to 70. Jesus, Jamie.
Not a good week for the Fonz.
What did you do?
My
four corners co-host.
You know what got me pissed if I was playing you? Here's what got me pissed if I was playing you. I didn't make the change I wanted to make, which was to bench Akers and put Gabe Davis in and move as my flex. And you and I would have had a battle where that would have been the difference with me beating you because I would have beat you by 1 with Davis in there. So I would have been so pissed if you and I are playing this week because 163 was my total with game 1. But are you guys happy with your bench? I'm kind of happy with my bench. My bench performed pretty well.
So like I was telling Mike, I was happy with my bench in my 2 ESPN leagues, but my big money league, I'm not. Like I'm scared to death because I'm sitting here trying to scramble a bench together. Yeah. But my big money league, I actually won by 1 point.
Nice.
And that's with having Akers at 0, Adam Thielen and Hunter Renfrow at 1. And Dawson Knox at, I think, 1.
Who do you have? Mahomes and Diggs or Mahomes and Chase?
No, I had, hold on, I'll tell you right now. So my starting lineup was Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, Saquon.
Okay, so the four of them got you about 120 points.
132, yep. Yeah, 120 point, correct. Because the final score, because Akers got 0, Knox 1, Renfrow 5, Thielen 6.
Yeah.
I had the LAD. But yeah, man, I mean, I agree. Akers really let me down. So he needs to pick it up this week. But yeah, what'd you guys think of this week, the first week?
Well, so when you were going through the scores, because I didn't look at everybody's scores, I didn't realize Jay beat Fonz that bad. So I'm looking at what happened to Fonz. He had possibly the worst luck of anybody. Here's some of the stuff that happened. Brady doesn't throw his best game. The Giants somehow hold up Derrick Henry. Yeah. Elijah Mitchell gets hurt. Dak doesn't throw to CeeDee Lamb and then gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Scary Terry did okay. Goddard did okay. Herbert doesn't throw to Mike Williams. The Ravens do okay, but all Nick Folk, his kicker, does, who was projected to get 8 points. All he did was kick an extra point for 1 point.
Yep.
And meanwhile, he's got 15 points of Brandon Cook sitting on the bench. Not that it would have helped him.
No,
it would have helped him get 15 points closer, but
not this week. But what I had going for me this week is everybody scored a touchdown on my team. So look, that's the name of fantasy. You got to find the guys you think are going to score on a weekly basis. But Mike, you must be pretty happy, just not even fantasy wise. You must be pretty happy with not just Saquon looking like old Saquon, but your Giants pulling up the W. I mean, come on.
Come on, man. I know you were had. That's the only thing I got up in the air. I was watching that game up in the air.
Yeah.
I was.
They were my upset special of the week. I had them winning.
I appreciate that
Mhm.
because I didn't. Well, that's and
My chair. Sorry.
I couldn't being a jaded Giants fan as I am.
Yeah.
I could not believe what I was watching. Like the defense actually was playing a coherent system
Yep.
that actually seemed to be working.
Yep.
And Daniel Jones fumbled, but he, actually was securing the ball. He actually was throwing good passes. People were catching those passes. I'm half joking, but I'm half not. It's really not something Giants fans are used to.
What, being 1-0?
Yeah, this is the first time they've gone 1-0. I think this is the first time they've won their opener in like 5 years.
I think it was like and they said something about 7 years. I think it was, but yeah, right around there, yeah.
It's been over a decade since they won the division.
Been a long time.
Yeah, and I know. For me, like I was happy. I got on the plane, and the first game. So it was the Steelers in the Bengals in the airport.
That was a great game.
And then I got on the plane, and they have the the TV, and I was able to hit Fox, and it was the Eagles and Lions. I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
Which ended up being a pretty good game in the fourth
that ended up being a good game too.
Shouldn't have been. We should have ran away with that game. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I get the Giants game, and I watched the whole entire Giants game until about 4 minutes. We stopped the plane. And when they pull to the gate, they turn the game off. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there watching, and all of a sudden it cut out. I'm like, what the and I can't get signal anywhere. I'm like,
what's happening?
But, I mean, what a terrible week for kickers, though.
I
You
know.
got to feel bad for McPherson. The snapper really not messing up once, but twice to win the game. I would be infuriated if I was him. And just awful kicking across the league. Tennessee had a 46-yarder to win. Who knows, that decision in Denver is going to be talked about for a long time until Denver just manhandles the team. If they have trouble this week, which they shouldn't, they're a pretty easy game. But just terrible kicking across the league. Terrible kicking across the league. But Houston missed a game winner, and the Colts missed 2 potential game winners, one in overtime, one before. It's like, I think this has to be, if they had a stat of most kicks to win a game in a given week, this week one was the one where like the most game-winning kicks were missed in 1 week, I would say.
It was just a bad week for kickers overall, like missing and otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, McPherson's already missed more field goals than he did all last
year. Whole year. Yeah.
And then not only does all of those guys miss their kicks, Harrison Butker hurts himself.
Yeah.
Has to be carted off the field, tries to come back and kick, and they've already ruled him out.
And already, yep, he's done.
Yeah, they ruled him out.
How about Boswell's
That's the Chiefs kicker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he actually kicked the field goals. I watched that game. He actually kicked the field goals, but then like they had their free safety kicking the kickoffs.
Yeah, Justin Reed.
And he kicked it each time through the uprights.
Bro, like, he launched it.
I was like, holy shit! But they were saying he played soccer in I think high school and college, so like he like kind of knew like how the form was and everything. But here's my thing: it's like everyone bitches and complains about the first week. Oh, everyone looks awful and everything. But look so here's a catch-22. So we have these preseason things before the season that you're supposed to like play in at least a couple times.
Yeah.
And try to get
what's it called again?
It's called preseason football.
That thing. Yeah.
And it baffles my mind. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. It baffles my mind when these guys say to me, they go to the camera, yeah, we weren't clicking.
Yeah.
You had 6 weeks to get ready, number one. Number two, you had games that you could have played in. You chose not to. But it's also the first game of the season. We're going to see ups and downs in the first game of the season. We're going to see, I think, being dramatic a little bit about like, oh my God, my team sucks. Like, I'm not too worried about the Eagles defense. They're going to pick it up eventually.
Yeah.
It's the first game of the season. They're all working together, a lot of new faces on a lot of new teams. I think it's just, to be honest with you, it's part of the game. I mean, most of the time, the first 2 games are kind of iffy. How many times have we seen a team lose the first 3 games and then all of a sudden go on and win the Super Bowl?
Well, remember Green Bay last year? New Orleans beat them 38-10, and everybody's panicking. But
different team.
The receiving court, they don't look like they're going to gel anytime soon. There's 3 teams I would be very concerned if I was these 3 teams right now. For sure, Green Bay won because they seem to be one-dimensional to plan for because obviously right now the game plan is to go to Aaron Jones and to go to A.J. Dillon a lot. Tennessee, same thing. Derrick Henry doesn't look himself after looking like he had a monster offseason, but it makes it easier for teams to stack the box because who are they throwing the ball to?
Exactly.
And the third team right now has to be the way the Rams came out and looked. I mean, the Cowboys, we don't even need to talk about the Cowboys.
That's what I was going to throw in.
We don't need to talk about the Cowboys, right? I mean, the Bucs defense, the Bucs defense did exactly what you think a Todd Bowles-led team would do, which was take a lot of pride in shutting a team out. I mean, that's what Todd Bowles has been known for his entire career. He's a defensive-minded guy. If that's the identity of the Bucs team, it's very similar than when they were in the early 2000s competing to win playoff games and win the championship with Dungy with a more exciting offense. So if the defense is clicking like this already, the rest of the NFC is in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I noticed is like with this that win for the Buccaneers is a Brady type win.
Yeah.
You score about 19 to probably 25 points. They didn't score 25, but I'm saying
Brady or a Belichick win?
It's kind of both, honestly, because he kind of managed the game. He didn't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I think he missed like 2 passes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like he did what he had to do and let his defense, who is probably a top defense, in my opinion, in the league, and I have them. And they looked awesome. I mean, granted, Dak got hurt. Who knows what happens if he doesn't get hurt? I don't know.
He gets hurt with like 6 minutes to go. It's not like
I didn't know when he got hurt.
He got hurt with about 6 minutes to go.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
But playoff Lenny, man, Fournette looked good. Leonard Fournette looked like he's not a 6-year
LSU
right now. Yeah.
LSU Leonard Fournette. But on that note, there is only one team right now, but it's a big one that everyone should be scared to play, and that's Buffalo.
Yes.
Like we said, there's a lot of teams that, of course, in week 1 don't look like they're in sync. They're still like new guys on the roster, still finding their spots and all that.
Yeah.
That does not look true at all with Buffalo. They look already on their A game from day one. Like, is this it?
Well, depending on tonight, I mean, if Herbert gets 2 wins in a row in Kansas City back-to-back, he'll be the first quarterback to beat Patrick Mahomes at home twice, which is pretty impressive. But if we get an AFC title rematch of Kansas City-Buffalo, which will probably be the Super Bowl, imagine that game with the way Kansas City came out and looked too. I mean, that was a mind-blowing game. How easy Mahomes moved the ball around. I know Arizona's defense is not the same. The linebacker core is weakened. The secondary is not as good as the one was. But my goodness, he just did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. The offense looks more efficient because the ball is not going to Kelsey or Hill. It's confusing now. And if Mahomes has that many weapons that like Juju looks good again. Hardman looked good. It's scary. That Kansas City offense I'm not counting Kansas City out just yet.
And just so for an update on the game, Garrett is our sideline reporter, and he wants to let us know a Chargers.
Nothing Chargers?
No, just one. It was a pit rollout. I think he threw it to. I don't know who he threw it to. I think Mike Williams.
No, but you said they were up 3-0. So is it 10-0?
It's 10-0 now.
And they're getting 4.5 points tonight. I don't know what. I think Vegas just wanted people to win because everybody lost last week. They're like, we're not going to get any bets this week. Just let them win on Thursday night, and we'll take all that money this weekend. Take 4 points for the Chargers.
and Garrett felt my pain in the Giants game. His game paused mid Saquon fumble.
Oh yeah, I was over there watching with them. Like it froze. And we're like, what happened?
Mike's like, turn it on. Mike, that's why I gave you the YouTube TV login. You can just go
I know. I know. I didn't bring my laptop with me.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, like I think it was a great week 1. I think this NFL, I think there's like Mike said, there's 2 teams that I think you can see that are pretty much on their money right now. And then there's the rest of the league. I mean, I think the league is very even. Has been in a while. And I give this Kansas City team a lot of credit to go into Arizona and absolutely dominate that Cardinals defense. With that Cardinals defense, they're like top. I think they're top 10 at least, and to go in there and just make them look like a high school football team. It's incredible. I was like, holy crap. Whoever has Mahomes is going to be happy.
Yeah.
So,
Guess who has
Josh
Mahomes?
Allen.
My dad.
Yep. Yeah, he was making me scared.
Yeah.
He topped Allen in points. I'm like, oh, great. Oh, there's me.
But yeah, I mean, that, and speaking about betting, like 4.5, I mean, Jamie, what games, just kind of go off of this week, what games should people look at this week to bet on? I'm going to throw it to you, Jay, because you gambling Jay. Gambling Jay.
I got you. I got you for this week, bro. Look, here's the thing, right? Last week we had some intriguing matchups, and this week it kind of seems it's weird. If we look across the board, there's two great rivalries: the oldest rivalry in football, Bears Packers, must win for the Packers, and then the most entertaining rivalry I think right now in football is tonight in terms of a division rivalry, and that's the Chiefs and the Chargers with the quality of football. But this week is so flip-flop compared to last week where there was games that you figured there were going to be a lot of close games. We have 4 games that have double-digit favorites. That includes Green Bay against the Bears. And we have 5 games where teams are favored by less than 3 points. So it's a real mix and match of could be a couple close games. They expect a lot of blowouts this week. Yeah. One of the most surprising lines that I saw, though, and I just couldn't get this. And by the way, Lions are favored for the first time, I think, in like 3 or 4 years or something. So that's what Detroit. Yeah. One of the things that was really strange to me was the Seattle San Francisco line, where Seattle's getting 8.5 points. You're talking about a team that always plays San Francisco well. Trey Lance has proven nothing so far. Like I said, conference rivalry. 49ers lost Elijah Mitchell. So right now the backfield is like somebody needs to step up who's unproven, but the Niners always kind of have next man up. Jamal Adams is a big blow for Seattle. We saw him go down. He might be done for the season. And Denver didn't move the ball at will in the second half, but there's no way that a confident Seattle team coming off that big win is going to go into San Francisco and shit the bed. So Seattle, 8.5 points. If you guys are listening, you're into it. Take Seattle now, because what's going to happen is they're going to drop to 7 or 7.5 by Sunday, because I think a lot of people are going to jump on that 8.5 point train. So I'm saying take the points for Seattle this weekend.
And for people that don't know about betting, what does that mean?
So what that means is that Vegas sets odds in every game. Okay. And there's 2 very popular odds you can play. One is the total points scored in the game, which you either take the over or the under. And a lot of teams, for instance, like a lot of teams are going to jump on the under between New England and who is it New England's playing this week? New England and I'll put it up real quick. New England, the Steelers. So a lot of people think that New England, Pittsburgh under 40 points. So a lot of people will jump on that because both offenses look pretty bad. Pittsburgh needed 5 quarters to score 20 points. So they're taking the under. But what the points mean is there's always going to be a team that's favored. And the team that's favored starts the game off minus that amount of points. So if you take that team, they have to win by more than that amount. So for instance, we look at a game like the Browns. The Browns are 6.5 point favorites at the Jets. Well, it's in Cleveland. So if the Jets lose that game 16-10 and you bet on the Jets, you win because they started the game up 6.5-0. So in terms of the gambling score of that game, that would be 16.5-16 in favor of the Jets because they started the game up 6.5-0. So that's what the points mean. So I'm take Seattle. I don't think Seattle loses this game by more than 8.5. If they lose the game, I think they're up late and San Francisco comes back and Trey Lance has his first comeback victory as a starting quarterback, which might happen. But I definitely don't see San Francisco winning this game by double digits.
So here's one thing I want to ask you guys. It was very interesting to me about the Monday night game. Do you think that was just a emotional pride game, or do you think that's Seattle this year?
Emotional pride game.
Great question.
I think.
Go ahead, Mike. Why do you think it's emotional though?
Well, I think it was.
For the fans. Yes.
Yeah, I think. Well, but. As it's been said before, the Seahawks, no matter who's on their roster, feed off the fans. 12th man. I think it was prove we don't need him to win a game. For Seattle, and they did it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a Seahawks team that's playing a lot off emotion right now. I don't think they have the legs to continue this kind of success against capable teams, which I still think the Broncos are a pretty capable team. I don't think they're as good as some other people do, but I think they're capable of winning games. I think I had them winning six or seven. But yeah, I think it's a Seattle team that will fall off as the weeks go on.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're playing so high on emotion and energy right now, but we all know what an NFL season can do to those types of teams. So that's just my perspective. Jay, I don't know what you. That would be incredible.
Oh, an update for the game. Touchdown!
Today.
But go ahead, Jay. My bad.
So I definitely agree with Mike on the emotion of the crowd really carrying them through that game, especially the goal line stance. Not one, but two of them. You know, the defense definitely gets up because the crowd's going nuts 20 feet behind them. And I do think it was a sloppy game for Denver. Same thing with the Bengals. So many turnovers. Both those teams should have won both of those games. However, they come out 0-1. And I kind of see Geno Smith playing with a chip on his shoulder, especially the divisional games. That's why I'm saying for this game against San Fran, the teams are familiar. And when you have that kind of familiarity and you're coming in there with a little bit of swag, Geno now knows that Metcalf's a reliable target. He threw it to him at will. They were double teaming Metcalf, and he was still going up and getting it. So Geno was 17 for 18 in the first half, probably the half of his life, college and pro football. So you come off a game like that, and to me, it's like, I just don't see how you drop off that fast, but I do believe that Seattle's will wean off to an average to sub-average team at some point in the season, but not next week or not this weekend. They're going to compete with San Fran because, look, I know it was a monsoon in Chicago, and any team could have won. And those kind of games, it's like somebody's going to win. Like, it doesn't count. Like nothing counts. That's like the what counteracts a team having an advantage. It's just who plays the best football. We call it lab away back home. Who plays the rest rainy, sloppy football? And that's Chicago style football, right? So I just feel like the Niners didn't show who they were at all. So that's the mystery. But at the same time, Trey Lance ain't that good. He ain't that good.
That's the thing is, like, that's what I kept saying about San Francisco is they're playing to Trey Lance was playing. I can't really say who he is yet because I haven't really seen him in a live game. Like you said, that type of game is, knowing that I played in football games like that. Trey is as well. And, when you're playing in those games, you're just kind of you're going with the flow of Mother Nature at the end of the day. Like if it's windy and it's raining, you're running the crap out of the ball. So you're not really, you're not, and Chicago is Windy City for a reason. So, I agree with Mike. But I think I agree with Jay Moore a little bit more. But I think that, Geno does have a lot to prove. Everyone keeps saying, oh, Geno's doing this. Geno's going to pull a Geno. And I think he's tired of that. Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and have an MVP type season, but I can see him having a chip on his shoulder and being consistent. But I think injuries are going to be I wouldn't say death, but like they're going to be critical for Seattle. Yeah. But they have to be able to run the ball if they want to have any type of success. Mm-hmm. If they can get Kenneth Walker healthy and have a two dynamic with Penny and Walker and have those two, and then be able, like you said, throw to Megatron squared.
Megatron cubed.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was incredible. Like it was incredible. He literally was going up, and like guys would be smacking at his arms, and he'd be like, and it wouldn't even bother him. He would shake them off, and then people would be talking crap. It's like, dude, he just caught the ball.
As was the other man-child who now wears your uniform, AJ Brown, who had the game.
Oh, he was amazing.
I mean, he was unstoppable. And sometimes that's where you realize that these guys do have a competitive advantage on a 5'10", 175-pound cornerback. Like, no matter how high they can jump or how fast they are, football's a physical game.
Yeah, and ultimately, I had a feeling because everyone's like, oh, well, he didn't throw it to Devontae, he didn't throw it to Dallas. I knew that was the plan going into this game. In my head, my opinion, I'm thinking, let them get some touches together. Let them get some throws. And let Devontae and Dallas kind of work into it because that's what you pretty much made that trade signify. He's the one, and you guys are the 2 and the 3.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to run the ball as much as we possibly can, like they did with our 4 running backs, and do as much as possible. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that win.
Bro, I had so many guys in my other league talking crap to me. Oh, why you went with the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown? I had him last year and this and oh, he's gonna suck this year. I'm like, hey guys, that's my strategy. Let's let week 1 happen first. By the way, they're playing the Detroit Lions. So I'm not obviously I'm like, hey, that defense is soft, but happy with the first week here from a fantasy standpoint.
Chargers just fumbled the ball. It's Chiefs' ball now.
Mike, who you got this week? Who's your upset special? Who do you think people should lean on? What you got for teams?
So looking through some of the lines, there were 3 that stood out to me. A was the Jets and Browns. The over-under on the Jets and Browns is 40.
Yeah.
I would take the under on that. These are 2 teams that are still trying to find their offenses. They're still trying to find their defenses. I don't think their offenses are good enough to put up a combined 40. So I would take the under on that. The next one was Washington, Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
They got Detroit by 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
I would take them to cover and more.
So I think Detroit's going to win outright?
Oh yeah, easily.
Okay.
I think Detroit is definitely the better team here. I don't think. While I know the Eagles' defense is still kind of new guys trying to find spots like a lot of other teams, I don't think Detroit is as bad as they used to be.
Right.
So I think they're capable enough to beat a Commanders team that's just got a name. So that's enough. Enough. And the third one was that Chicago Green Bay game, which they got Green Bay by 10.
Yep.
I would take Chicago.
Take the points.
I would.
Yep.
I would take the points because I just don't think, like we said, the receivers just are, and Rodgers just they're on opposite sides. Yep. I don't think Green Bay can win by 10 here.
Yeah, Rodgers is too busy doing barstool interviews and about getting connections with his receivers.
That line has now dropped to 1, which means everybody's been jumping on that 1.5 for Washington. So it's gone down from 1.5.
You know what angers me about the whole Rodgers situation?
What's that?
A little bit is the fact that he decided, knowing that he doesn't have really good connection chemistry with his receivers, is to sit out this preseason.
Yeah,
it's ignorancy. It shows in Green Bay's eye, why did I go and give him an extension? You're playing desperate, and I get it. But, if you traded away Devontae, you trade away Valdez-Scantling, you're basically saying I'm resetting at this point. Yeah. And if that's the case, why are you throwing a bag at someone who doesn't want to be a team player, who doesn't want to be on the team?
Right.
Of course not. If someone gave my extension and said, "Oh, I'm going to give you an extension for $245 million on top of the $245 million I already gave you," of course I'm going to want to play.
I'm going to take it. Yeah.
You're stupid if you're not. But I like those. I like those picks. I like those.
I'll tell you another one. That's really weird too. The last one is, as poorly as the Rams played, they're a 10-point favorite at home against Atlanta. And Atlanta's defensive line looked really good against a damn good New Orleans offensive line. And so I think Atlanta's playing with a big chip on their shoulder because everybody's like, and they should have won that game. Everybody's like, worst team in the league this year, first pick. If the experiment doesn't work out with QB, they're going to go out and get one of the other QBs and just trade him away or let him be backup QB. And that defense was firing until Jameis and Michael Thomas came alive in the fourth quarter on all cylinders. I think the Rams are going to struggle again. I think the Rams have not figured out what to do with their offensive line. Their running game is up in jeopardy right now. Matt Stafford did not look himself at all, even though Buffalo got to him too often. So I think they would rattle any quarterback. But that Falcons game, I'm taking that 10.
So that's actually my game. And I highly disagree with you. I think it's going to be a slaughtering. Wow. I think I'm going to take the over on the 46.5 on the Rams. I think the Rams are going to put up at least 50.
50. Okay.
The reason why I say this is because they are too damn talented on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball to see this type of offense not perform at that level against a defense, which I agree is good, but I don't think they're going to be able to withstand all the weapons that Stafford has. And I think it was just kind of a first game jitters. I mean, honestly, like I get like teams don't usually lose the first game of the season after winning the Super Bowl, but I think it was just kind of like first game jitters. They had the banner night. There's a lot of emotions, a lot of happiness. A lot of people, and you had The Rock introducing the team. So I think
going on.
there's a lot going on that night. So I think the Rams absolutely obliterate the Falcons by 3 or 4 touchdowns at least. And
so
I think
you're saying at least 50, but probably looking like 45 to like 16 kind of game. So
I'm taking the over on this. I'm taking over 46.5.
Yeah.
If I'm anybody, because I think that's definitely going to be something that we're going to see. I think your little Cooper Cup is going to definitely have that.
Good.
Mike's.
I need him
too. I'll challenge you.
I'll
challenge you right now that the Rams offense has more talent than the Saints offense, who Atlanta just kind of kept in check. Kamara, a healthy Michael Thomas. Olave looks like the legit receiver. Taysom Hill, who's probably one of the more athletic tight ends if you use him at that position. And on the Rams side, you have Henderson, who's good, but I'll take Kamara over him. Of course, I'll take Cup over Michael Thomas, maybe 3 years ago, Michael Thomas, but both of them, legit number one. Who's the number 2 for the Rams that's going to step up for them?
Allen Robinson.
Oh, and that's the thing. Allen Robinson looked like he's still learning the playbook, right? So I think the Rams are going to putter. That's why I think that they're going to putter into that win as opposed to this is it. Game 2 is going to be like, oh, here are the LA Rams that won the Super Bowl. I just don't think it's going to happen this weekend.
I agree with John. I think the Rams are going to take the opportunity to make a statement here that, like, don't count us out.
Okay.
So, I mean, I know Allen Robinson's still learning the playbook, but they still got Tyler Higbee. I don't know. I think the Rams are going to.
Not a big Higbee guy myself. But look, I won't be surprised if it happens, but talk about the biggest gamble of the week, it would be taking Atlanta. So that's the one I would do last, if just for the sake of having fun. Like if you win, because I think that game is an afternoon game. So if you hit like a parlay on Saturday with college football and you have some house money to mess around with, you want to throw $50 on that just to have some fun, or throw the Falcons in a fun parlay for $50 that pays out a lot of money. That's something I might do instead of doing the Rams. I just, like I said, Buffalo's impressive, but the Rams look like they just. Hey, John, welcome back.
Welcome back.
You have you have the Rams. Any other games?
I didn't like your talk.
You have the Rams. You have the points. You have the over for the Rams, and you have the Rams on the points. Any other games you were looking at that people?
So it was before my. I'm sorry, everyone. My internet is an absolute piece of crap, and I'm not going to badmouth the company name, but
Miami internet.
But it is terrible. And if you would like, hit me up on social media, and I'll tell you who not to go with. So,
John, you missed me praising the name of Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, Tyler Higbee gets a praise on Cinco Squad.
Isn't it Taylor?
No, Tyler.
Is it Tyler? Oh, my God, I'm the wrong name the whole time. Damn.
That's why he's not getting points for you.
That's why I couldn't find him when I was driving.
That's why he's not really a household name. We don't even know his name.
So the other game that intrigues me is the Panthers-Giants.
Nice.
The over-under is 43.5.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they get close to that. I think it's maybe like a 21 to like – I mean, they'll get close to it, but I don't think it's going to be – I think it's definitely under. Because I think it's two teams like still trying to figure out each other, and I think like, I'm hoping Saquon goes off, and I hope I'm wrong. He goes off 4 touchdowns, 300 yards. I'm cool with that, but that game intrigues me. There's a lot of good games this year. Just looking at it, just looking at the schedule, the Bucs and the Saints intrigues me. Tampa Bay 2.5. I don't know
with half of our offense out possibly right now. I don't know
who's out.
Who's out? Receiver might be this week. It's crazy.
Who's out?
They're saying Julio's dealing with his hamstring issue. Godwin's already ruled out. Russell Gage might be ruled out. Offensive line. Who else today? Leonard Fournette's kind of bruised up. Tom Brady's resting. So I mean, like, there's a lot of people that are like.
Tom Brady's not playing.
No, he's playing, but there's a lot of people that are on that verge of where, like, they're not going to be 100% against a Saints team that plays at 100% when they go against the Bucs. The Saints want to knock Brady out every play.
Yeah.
The Saints play that game with more intensity than they would a playoff game. And for us to have people that are 75% or kind of dinged up, kind of banged up, I don't like it. I don't like that 2.5.
So what you're saying, Jay, is that the Buccaneers are the old folks' home again.
Unfortunately, yes.
Back in my day, we wore creamsicle jerseys.
You know what's weird? If you take Brady off the team, the average age of the team, I think, gets younger by like 8.5 years instantly or something.
Well, I mean, those bets were good. I think people should definitely take our advice if we hit on them. So definitely tune back.
Like Dan Patrick, Dan Patrick never gives advice. When people ask him for stuff, he's like, sounds like an entertaining game. They're like, come on, Dan. He's like, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to tell you what to do so you can come back and be like, why did you tell me?
Yeah, right. And he's got millions and millions of followers.
Yep.
But the college football season is turning out to be very interesting. I mean, it's a lot of teams that I'm thinking like were in my top 5 are not there anymore. I had Utah. I had Baylor. They're probably not going to be there. A lot of teams, but the core 4, I think right now, everyone keeps saying Clemson. I don't see that. Even
your top 5 right now.
So my college football top 5, and you're not going to like it, but hold on, let me pull up my notes. Sorry. Yes, I have notes, everyone. I am old school. I have old school notes. Give me a second. Pull them up. So my top 5 is Georgia 1, Bama 2, Ohio State 3, Michigan 4, and here's where it becomes very interesting. I have the Oklahoma Sooners at 5.
Okay.
It's the end of the season, and then I have Jamie's Kentucky Wildcats at 6.
Look at that. I like hearing that.
So, because we always show they always show the 2 teams. So they always show, so I think the top 4 is correct. What ESPN has and everything, I think they're all correct.
Yeah.
But I think Oklahoma looks really solid. Mm-hmm. And your Kentucky Wildcats look like a very strong team defensively, who's going to give teams a lot of hecticness.
Yep.
And especially when those Bulldogs come up to where you guys play?
Lexington.
Lexington.
He knew it.
I knew it. My damn internet again. Sorry, guys. But I have that's who my top 5 is. I got myself my Michigan Wolverines, who still don't know who the starting quarterback is. Actually, we do. Michigan is now named J.J. McCarthy as the starting quarterback, which I'm happy with, honestly. Cade has been a good substitute in a sense. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good college quarterback. I think he did what he needed. He's most of the reason. But I think it's JJ's time, and I think JJ's been sitting there for a little bit, has played, under him, and ultimately, I think Cade leaves after this year because he's a grad student, and now JJ's going to have to know how to play with the offense, and I think, realistically, he gives us the best chance to win.
Yep.
Ohio State looks pretty good. Georgia, I agree with Jay. They reloaded and they're firing on all cylinders. And then Bama, I don't agree with people. Like, they played a very good Texas team. So why is everyone giving? It's not like they played like Alabama State and Tech. Like, they played
Appalachian
Texas.
State.
They played a good team.
Yeah.
And even Appalachian State, they're supposed to be one of the top FCS schools in the country right now. So
Michigan, but
yeah.
So you got Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, Michigan,
Oklahoma, Kentucky,
and then Kentucky on the outside.
Yes.
Nice.
get in.
Okay.
All right, Jay, who you got?
So my
Kentucky,
list is
Kentucky.
No. I didn't go Homer
Florida,
with this.
Kentucky.
I didn't go Homer with this one because, unfortunately, I think that road game against Tennessee throws our season off a bit and it gets shaky in the middle. So I could see us losing to Tennessee on the road, and then obviously Georgia comes in, and it would be great if we're undefeated for that game and it's 2 top 5 teams. I just don't see that happening. But I got Georgia at 1 because they're just a complete team. Got Ohio State at 2 because of their improved defense.
Yes.
Got Bama at 3 just because I don't think they look better on either side of the ball yet. Their quarterback doesn't look as good as he did last year. I got Michigan 4 because of J.J. McCarthy and the defense looking like they're ready to play any team in the nation. You get embarrassed like that on national TV, and you go into the offseason with a huge chip on your shoulder. Jim Harbaugh is the kind of coach that drills that in all the time, too. He's also the coach. You hear what Hutchinson said in his interview with Dan Patrick? He said that one thing that scared him the most, that threw him off when he got to Michigan after his recruiting trip when he had already committed, was Harbaugh doing squats bareback in his little khakis on the field during practice, and they're looking over the head coach like, what in the hell is he doing? So here's my thing. What might be one of the most intriguing matchups of the college season coming up early, because it's not A&M Bama anymore. It's Bama and Arkansas, because Casey Jefferson has probably solidified himself as a top 5 quarterback in college football right now. He was teasing last year, and they opened up the season with a huge win against Cincinnati. Then they beat South Carolina, conference rivalry. So they've already played 2 tough opponents and showed that the defense can win games with a great quarterback. Mm-hmm. If Arkansas upsets Bama, they're my number 5. And they will sit firmly there with that Bama win. But with a Bama loss, Bama always finds a way to creep back in. And then at 6, I don't know why you're doubting Baylor. I think Baylor might be the best team in the Big 12. Baylor just slowly – Oklahoma State's going to be tough to beat too. That offense is crazy good. But I think it's Oklahoma State or Baylor, but I'm going with giving Baylor the edge, even though they have a new QB. I'm giving them the edge to creep over Oklahoma State at 6.
Yeah, it's hard because they lost on you can't really say because they lost on the road to BYU. Yeah. You go to any of these college towns and you're a big name school, you're going to have a huge target on your back.
Yeah. And
especially finishing in the top 5 last year. So, I agree. I think Baylor's a solid team. I would have put them at 7 and Oklahoma State at 8. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say that's my. I agree with that.
That's you and I have no faith in Clemson. Let's see if Mikey has any faith in Clemson. Mikey, who you got?
So I think we're all kind of on the same wavelength as far as a lot of these teams. I'll say what you guys, may not want to say, which is somehow Notre Dame's going to find their way to be number 1 with 2 losses. So that's that. And no, I'm just kidding.
He's gone. I'm sorry.
I got Georgia 1 because God, did they look different? Yeah. They just look so much different than any program. Yeah. I got Bama at 2 because it's Bama. They'll find a way to be 2, even if they're not 2 worthy. They'll be 2. I got Ohio State at 3 because they look fine. We lost to them by 11. Actually, I have Arkansas at 4.
Nice. So you believe in
those first 2 games, they are down to battle with anybody. They're just going to go nose. I mean, the Razorbacks again. They're just going nose to nose with anybody, and I think they might be able to upset Bama.
Me too.
Me too. Because it's in Arkansas, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. They go to. I'm looking at their schedule. They go to Arkansas, and I think that's going to be a college football game day. But sorry, Mike, go ahead.
It should be. No, absolutely. And actually, Jamie, I have your Kentucky Wildcats at 5.
Ooh,
yeah, I like what they're showing, and I'll put Michigan at 6.
Nice.
I think
we only test are like Tennessee and Mississippi State on the road, and then Georgia. If we get by Tennessee and we scrape Mississippi State, we're probably undefeated, and that Georgia-Kentucky game might be 2 undefeated teams, which would be. It may end up being lopsided, but it would probably be the first time ever I think Kentucky would be playing for the rights to play in the SEC championship game and be undefeated in their program history.
Yeah. So. And I think
Jamie, cut it out. You got basketball. Cut the shit. You can't have football too.
Give the rest of us something.
Jesus.
Oh wait,
Christ.
My college basketball.
This is all Calipari's fault for going out there and saying we're a basketball school. Who's put that up in the locker room and said, anytime you see any of these basketball boys on campus, you just give them the bird and say we're a football team.
I would complain, but my basketball team went to the national championship game, so
yeah,
we're good. This year we'll win it.
Yeah. All right. So did you have a 6 as well? You said Kentucky was 5.
So I got Kentucky at 5. I got Michigan at 6.
Right.
I think I'm sorry, John. I think you're losing to Ohio State.
Oh.
And I think that ends up
tough game.
it is a tough game, and I think Michigan is probably going to be 4 or 5 going into that game, and then that loss is going to drop them.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, honestly, like the thing with Michigan right now, their defense is rolling on all cylinders. They're all clicking on together. They got cakewalk games right now. They had Colorado State, who I mean, realistically, I didn't think was going to be a walkover because of how they played last year. They had Hawaii. This week they have UConn, and then they start their Big Ten conference play with Maryland. Maryland is with Tua's brother at the helm still. It's kind of a who knows what kind of Maryland team you're going to get, So,
and in my head, that's what kind of dropped Michigan for me was they haven't had a game where, yes, they've had lopsided wins, but they haven't had lopsided wins against a team that's necessarily fully impressed me yet.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I think they're a good team. It's just like, okay, let me see you against like those more competitive Big Ten teams.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
And we'll get a chance to see it. We'll get some of the biggest coaches in football going against each other soon. And speaking of biggest coaches ever in the history of football.
Nice segue.
I think we have a pretty special keep trade cut for the night. John's going to bring that from Mr. Cinco himself. So give us the goods, John Sawyer. Give us the goods.
All righty. Mr. Cinco trade day Booker is now on the clock. He did keep trade cut of football coaches. And let me see. I'll pull it up on my time. I haven't even looked yet. Okay. So here are the 3 coaches. Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, Jimmy Johnson.
Huh.
Okay, well.
Nice. Yeah,
so when do you want me to do trades first or last?
Do his last.
Okay.
Do his last because he's
the right. Send you his?
You're in the big box though.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to go first?
You're in the big box already. So.
This is the first time I'm seeing this, by the way. I didn't look at the because I knew it was the notes. It was like a screenshot of the notes on your iPhone, so I didn't look. Right now, I would take. Give me a second.
Yeah, I got to think about this for a second. If only we had a soundboard, I'd start playing the Jeopardy music. Hold on. Wait, Jamie, stop. We might get taken down. Oh. Copyright.
That's right. But I was going,
variation.
All right, I'm ready.
Bollywood mix.
I'm ready. Here we go. So here's my keep trade cut. My keep is Jimmy Johnson.
Uh-huh.
My trade is Bill Belichick, and my cut is Nick Saban.
Okay.
Ooh.
Reason behind the cut of Nick Saban is he couldn't make it in the NFL. I'm not saying that he can't make it in the NFL. He did not succeed in the NFL. He tried it and got fired and then took the LSU job. So not saying he wouldn't be successful now, but, he's not multiverse in a sense. He's a great coach. Top 5, top 3 coach. I think these are the top 3 coaches of all time.
Yep.
But trade Belichick. I guess I don't know how you get value for a coach in a trade. I've never had that. I've never heard of that. But I guess he could I guess I could trade him for a couple OCs and a couple defensive.
Technically, there have been coaches that have been traded before.
You just don't see it though. You know what I'm saying?
You traded for money. You get traded for money.
And the reason why Jimmy Johnson is I keep Jimmy Johnson because he's coached at the college ranks and on the NFL ranks, and has succeeded at both. Yep. Dominated at both. Yep. Has had a couple of the 2 dominating teams, I think, in Miami in college football history, to having one of the most dominating NFL teams probably in history. One of the teams. I know it's the Cowboys, and I never want to give the Cowboys credit, but they did have – that team was filthy good. Like Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. Like, come on now. Like, those 3 names all together. And then or was it Aikman at the time, I think, with Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they traded – they got Aikman. They drafted him late 80s, and they were like 2-14 years.
But he came in and just automatically, boom, hit the ground running, won a couple Super Bowls, I think. and then got fired because he won a Super Bowl. I never heard of that before, but that's Jerry Jones for you. But Jamie, who you got, brother?
So this one's tough, man. This one's tough. All of these coaches are big time winners, so it's a way to go, Mr. Cinco. You made this super hard. I will agree with you, and the only reason I'm cutting Nick Saban is because I think when you have so much success in college football, riding the coattails of the name Alabama, it's interesting to say, well, what if he was at Pitt, or what if he was at another school without that prestige? But he has created a monster, and you have to give him credit for that. But I'm going to cut him because I think the name has got him more than his actual coaching credentials have in terms of his success, especially these last, since the CFP started. I'm going to trade Jimmy because he's interchangeable anywhere. So meaning if I traded him to jump ship college or come back pro or whatever it is, he can move around and he's versatile anywhere. So I'm trading him because he's successful anywhere. So I'm going to throw him out anywhere, and he's going to create a winner anywhere else. I'm keeping Belichick because not only is the Super Bowl probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest title or championship to win in sports, but he was successful with the Giants. He was successful with the Cleveland Browns, like one of the only coaches in their history to do that. And then obviously we know after that, him and Belichick butt heads with the Jets, which was the best thing ever for New England because he ended up on New England sideline, and the rest has been history for the last 20 years. So because the man is a genius of this game, and he's won, I think he's been a part of 9 Super Bowl winning teams now. That's insane.
Plus, you got to look at the tier. You have to look at the tier of coaches he's created. Nick Saban, one of them.
Yep. So I gotta give it up to my man Bill Belichick here. I'm keeping him.
All right, Mikey Mike and the Funky Bunch. Let's go. Let me see what you got. I got you. Boom.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, let's start off by saying that I'm cutting Jimmy Johnson.
No, of course you are.
And it's not only because he's the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course not.
Because he's a Miami Hurricane.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody knew it before, but I hate
Catholics for convicts.
And not only that, but think about this. Ray Lewis came from Miami and he beat the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I'm cutting Jimmy because when I think about it, I kind of question. I have the same question about him as you had with Saban.
Okay.
What if he was at Pitt or Appalachian State or something like
Miami
that?
was terrible, though.
Right, but
no. You're right. You're right. He took over a Miami team that was well loaded of recruits. You're right. 100% right. I'm sorry.
And when he won Super Bowls with Dallas, that team was stacked with talent.
Correct.
I think I'm not saying that he's not one of the best coaches ever because he is, but on this list, he's the third one to me.
Okay.
I'm going to trade Saban because of that lack of success in the NFL.
Difference.
I think he would have success now in the NFL given his experience since then. And of course, I have to keep the Emperor.
The Emperor.
Bill Belichick.
I know.
Because, he had success in any position on any team.
He also won the Giants their first Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
A lot of people say he was the brain.
Well, no. I think he was with Parcells.
No, but Parcells was the visionary, but they say Bill was the brain. Because
he helped unlock Lawrence Taylor, who, in my opinion, is the best defensive player ever.
Yep.
So, he gets a lot of credit for unlocking the full potential of Lawrence Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think he is the. I don't know if he's the best quarterback ever. That's not quarterback.
Coach?
He's not.
He's not at all. No.
Not even close.
I don't know if he's the best coach ever.
Football coaches? Just football coaches?
Just
Bill
football
Belichick's not the greatest football coach of all time.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Who is?
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick?
I don't know if he is because Vince Lombardi comes to mind. Newt Rockne.
Yes. He is the best coach of all time because of everything I said before. He has been able to not only coach, he's been able to mentor, and with the mentorship has created hundreds of opportunities where we wouldn't have a Saban. What is Saban is always known for at Alabama and LSU when he was there? His amazing defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, before Bama, I mean, when he got to Bama, how many quarterbacks were there? And basically, we're good college. A.J. McCarron comes to mind in one quarterback. Great college quarterback. Could never make it in the NFL. So it's tough because he had great offenses too. But his defenses were always on point and always every Saturday there to step up and stepped up big. So, I think Belichick is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Coach.
Huh?
You said quarterback too.
Did I say quarterback? Oh, Jesus. All right, it's too late, boys.
Got it in everyone's head now.
There's a name from my early days as a Niners fan as a kid. When I first started watching football was Bill Walsh, who revolutionized the game of football with the West Coast offense becoming what every team eventually adopted as, here's how we're going to build a more powerful offensive unit. And he was probably one of the best brains of football, if he's not the best coach of all time, maybe the most influential brain in football in the modern era of football.
So our two other compadres picked exactly what you picked, Mike. Keep Bill, trade Nick Saban, and cut Jimmy Johnson. So Pat and Trey both picked those two as well. I didn't get reasonings by them, but I'm sure it's similar to what we were saying and everything. But
did you keep Bill, John? Who did you keep? You kept Saban.
I kept Jimmy Johnson. I traded Bill Belichick, and I cut Nick Saban.
All right, so you're the only one that didn't keep Bill. The rest of us kept Bill.
Yes. Yep. So, I mean, it was pretty versed until we got to the last three. So, I mean, everyone's kind of all over the place. I mean, you kept other than the Bill part, you kept Jimmy, you traded Jimmy, cut Saban.
Yeah.
Mike did vice versa. So that's pretty. I like this one. That was a good one.
You really can't. I would say you really can't go wrong with those three.
No,
I don't think so either.
No matter what, you're keeping a great coach.
Yeah. Exactly. You're going to have a winner. But since Trey stumped us, it is stumped. It's time to play Stump the Squad.
Yes, sir. All right, if you guys have been looking at this show, we are deep into, I think, 24th or 25th week now.
This is our 25th episode, by the way.
All right.
It's almost as old as me.
So, it goes down with Stump the Squad. We pretend like we know everything in sports. We're really checking the answers. We're not. Maybe we are. But we ask each other trivia questions. We bet 2 or 1 point. The person who has the most points in the end of Stump the Squad gets to do the rant of the week. And Mike is on a 3-game win streak, 4-game win streak right now. So Mr. Sawyer and I are looking to take him down tonight because he cannot be Mr. Cinco of Stump the Squad. He just can't. So, gentlemen, would you like me to start since I'm on the big screen tonight?
Yes, sir.
All
we'll
right.
go with 2. We'll go with 2, Jay.
2
We'll go with 2.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to go into the wonderful world of tennis again. And
I knew it.
This one's going to be tough. The longest ever point played or recorded in tennis history lasted for how long? A, 5 minutes. B, 29 minutes. C, 17 minutes. Or D, 11 minutes. The longest point ever played in tennis lasted for 5, 29, 17, or 11. And this is recorded at a tournament. 5, 29, 17, or 11 minutes.
Jamie, is a point basically, you know how they do 15 love, 30 love,
so if I serve to you,
yes,
that point, how long did that last for when the
got you? Okay.
Really, how long did they go back and forth?
Yep.
Okay, my bad.
How long was the rally?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I thought you meant like if they went 15 love, 30 love, 80.
No,
I know that's
one particular rally of to decide a single point in a match.
So you said 5 minutes,
5,
11,
29, 17, and 11.
I'm gonna go with 11.
5, 29, 11, 17.
All right, gentlemen, I have successfully stumped the squad.
This is 29.
29.
Wow.
Dickie Nelson and Gene Hepner at the Virginia Slims tournament in Virginia 25 years ago. 643 strokes the rally lasted for.
They must have been tired. They must have called timeout, TV timeout.
When I was watching the U.S. Open, there were games that were like 15-minute long games, and I'm like, damn, this is a long game. And that point was almost double that time of the entire game. It's nuts to think that happened in tennis.
Everybody in the crowd left with a sore neck.
Oh yeah.
You know what the crazy part about tennis, just to kind of jump in on that, is that tennis isn't a sport until you don't get a TV timeout in between rallies. Like you get a little bit of a breather, but then you got to go.
Just in between sets now they've implemented this bathroom break, or you can get like an injury timeout, but it's 10 minutes tops. That's it.
Exactly, but it's not like when you're rallying like that.
Yeah.
After it's done, you got to go right back to hitting the ball. Like it's not like you get a break and a TV timeout.
And before there wasn't a countdown. There's a countdown clock now. You have to now serve within a time limit now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it can't go 29 minutes.
You can't milk it and dry your face off with your towel and like you got to get back to the other side of the court.
Shit, if they were to go 20 minutes, I would like restart that clock every 5 seconds. Like, hey, come on, give me a break, man.
Probably like, yo, I need a cigarette, guys. Can we just pause on this game?
All right, Jay, who do you want to go next?
You.
Okay. So mine's a football question. I think this is my last week doing a football one because I've done one for a while. So, how many points you guys want?
2.
I think we have to go 2 this week.
Yeah, pretty much. We should just make it 2.
Yeah.
All right. So, who is the NFL's biggest sponsor? Verizon, Coors Light, Amazon, or Gatorade?
How can it not be Amazon?
Who is the NFL's biggest sponsor?
Coors, Amazon, Gatorade, and who?
Verizon, Coors Light, Amazon, Gatorade.
Monetarily?
Who's the biggest sponsor?
Like who gives the most sponsorship money? Or who's the most visible? Okay.
Sorry, yeah, dollar wise.
That's what I figured, but I just wanted to make sure.
Money.
Okay, so Verizon, Amazon, Gatorade. What's the fourth one?
Coors
Verizon,
Light.
Amazon, Gatorade.
Coors Light. Yep.
I'm ruling out the drink company, so it's between Amazon and Verizon.
I feel like it's Verizon.
So do I.
Because I feel like the drink companies are obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's Verizon.
And like they have every time they go to a place, like the replay.
The Verizon wireless halftime.
So I'm gonna go with Verizon as well. We got 2 Verizon.
Oh, you cheater.
That's cheating. No, I'm joking. I have successfully stumped no one. You both got it right this week.
Okay.
It is Verizon. Verizon's, and I had to look it up. I looked it up on a website, but then I also typed it into Google just to confirm. And they are the biggest sponsor at $300 million per year they spend. You would think I threw Amazon in there. Amazon's not even on the list. But I threw Amazon in there because of their deal right now and everything that's promoting. Like you see it when you go to Amazon.com, you see NFL everywhere. So it's like I threw that, but that was good. That was a good job. Jamie is now leading.
Ooh la la.
I need him to get this wrong.
Ooh la la.
Yeah.
Tie. I need him to get this wrong to tie.
Back in 1917, what happened in this baseball game when this guy's
kind of gum did Babe Ruth chew?
It's not 1917. It's 1906. Thank you. No. What I want to know, guys. I forgot to open my phone up.
Oh boy.
This past week, Texas A&M, following their loss, dropped 18 spots from 6 to 24 in the AP poll, tying the record for the furthest drop in AP poll history. Who'd they tie? Is it
Say that again?
Okay,
who did they tie with?
So Texas A&M, after their loss when the AP poll came out, they dropped 18 spots from 6 to 24. It's tied for the largest drop in AP poll history.
Yeah.
Who'd they tie?
Okay.
A, 2008 West Virginia. B, 2009 Cal. C, 2009 Ole Miss. Or D, 2021 Clemson. will repeat if necessary.
I'm going to say 2021 Clemson.
Okay, John says 2021 Clemson.
What was A?
A was
West
2008
Virginia?
West Virginia.
I think
That's
West
a good
Virginia
one.
I think West Virginia was ranked top 3 for some reason that year, and
Yeah, because of Pat White.
I was going to say Pat White.
and then USF for someone surprised them, and I think USF ended up being the team that was surprised. I'm going to take West Virginia.
Okay, so John says 2021 Clemson. Jamie says 2008 West Virginia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, I have successfully stumped the squad.
Oh,
Who was it? It's a hold on. It's
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Nope.
No?
2009 Cal.
Wow.
Also went.
That's a good one.
Also went from 6 to 24.
So it's a tie right now between Jamie and Mike. So I gotta come up with something, huh? Don't I? Wait a second. Hold
John,
on.
the tiebreaker should definitely be who the next highest drop was.
Right, because you didn't check that.
It's actually a tie between West Virginia and Ole Miss.
So,
You should ask me how far Clemson dropped last year.
how much did I pull today on the squat rash?
Wait, you told me on the phone.
545.
All right. We gotta figure out something for a tie.
546.
We do have to figure out something for a tie.
And we can't do it. It's all you.
God, you guys, you know I suck at thinking. It's not my strong suit.
Come on, John. No pressure.
Hold on, I'll find something.
I need this.
NFL
I
history.
need this.
Mike needs this.
I need it. I don't need it. I don't need it.
I don't eat it. I
I
don't want
definitely
it.
don't need it. Yeah, I need it.
Give me a second.
What's the score in the game, Mikey?
10-7.
10-7.
Halftime, third quarter, where we at?
Start of third quarter.
Low scoring game. Defenses showed up, huh?
Defense.
In what year? Okay, so here we go. And you gotta get closest to the year.
Okay,
In
so
what
Price is
year?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. In what year was the Hall of Fame organized and founded for the
Which Hall
NFL?
NFL?
Yeah.
Okay.
What year was the Football Hall of Fame organized and founded? And you have 5 seconds to answer. 5,
54.
4, 3. You say 54, Jay?
Do not say 55, Mike.
47.
Okay. The answer is
Either smiling because I lost or smiling because I won.
and the answer is, and I will put it up on the graphic that Mike can see. It is 1920.
No.
Mike is week 25 champion.
I have a feeling it was like 100 years ago because I remember seeing something recently about 100-year anniversary.
The answer is 1920, actually.
Really?
So it's 1920. And Mike is a 5-peat champion after going on a tear of losing. Kind of like the Yankees, but we will give you the rant of the week.
5-time wrestling fans out there know what that means. Okay, so my rant of the week this week, yes, John Cena. My rant of the week this week, actually, funnily enough, is going to make my co-champion because we tied in the normal rounds, Jamie, happy, which is I wanted to take the time to say a hearty farewell to Roger Federer.
Yeah.
One of, if not the greatest male tennis player of all time.
Classy
He
guy.
meant so. I know he meant. I'm not that well versed in tennis, but even I, a tennis novice, know how much he meant to the sport. How much he meant every time to kids out there learning to play tennis. Every time he touched the court, no matter what the court was made of, and how many times he just dominated. Every tournament he was in. So well-deserved end of a career. I wish we could see you play and win maybe one more time, just like Serena. But congratulations on a great career, and go enjoy your family because you deserve it.
What a class act. I
Yeah.
remember watching him sometimes, and I remember growing up watching Sampras as a young tennis player and thinking, who's going to be better than this guy? And then the way he would just dominate at Wimbledon, it's like, damn, I think he would beat Sampras if they somehow could play each other in their prime. And you know what the coolest thing about him was? He would spend an hour to an hour and a half talking to fans, signing autographs, especially of young kids who are around. He wouldn't leave the court. Because back then it wasn't like securities, surrounding you and they have to push you out the way. And he embraced the fans of the game and really just was a small town kid from this little freaking village in the middle of nowhere in Switzerland, So he's like, I'm you. And he could relate with any little kid from anywhere and never thought he was bigger than the game. The last thing he said in his retirement speech today was, I love the game of tennis and I won't be leaving you. I'll definitely be around. Thank you, tennis, for everything you've done for me. And just a class guy, man. 100%.
Yeah. Very humble. And like Mike said, I'm not a big tennis guy, but, ultimately, anytime I would hear Federer, Nadal, those guys, those names, it just perked I was like, oh, let me go watch. Or when you would hear, oh, Federer's playing Nadal, I'd go and watch. And
you're going to get a good match.
Yeah, exactly. And he was just a humble guy. I agree with you, Jay. It was just basically a guy that just loved being around and loved being a human at the end of the day to people. And I always respected that of Roger. He's never really wanted to be in the limelight a lot. He just wanted to just kind of just be himself and go do whatever. If you want to go to have a cheeseburger. I heard one time he went to a restaurant and just had a cheeseburger at a random restaurant. It wasn't like a 5-star. It was just like some little hole in the wall. He just walked in, had a burger, and they're like, oh my God, it's Roger Federer. And I guess he left a good tip. He took all pictures, but kudos to him. 20-time Grand Slam champion, which is crazy.
Yep.
I think that's 4 tournaments. That's 4 tournaments, right? He's won the 4 major tournaments.
He never won the French Open because of Nadal, but he's the first man, I think, in the modern era to win 5 consecutive Wimbledons. He won 4 consecutive U.S. Opens, and that happened within the same 5-year span. And those are back-to-back. So when it came to the end of the year, it was like Federer, Wimbledon, U.S. Open, Wimbledon, U.S. Open. So he was guaranteed to always snatch up 2 of those 4 because he was so dominant in that 5-year span. I think he won 9, something like 9 because he won the Australian Open in 3 years or something, or in 4 years, which is ridiculous. So
definitely. And I think that just shows to his competitiveness and how, like we were saying in that 29-minute match, that didn't happen in his game, but he would just go back out. I mean, tennis is a grueling sport. You keep going. You don't stop. And for him to do it back-to-back for 5 years straight, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
But you never heard him complain. He was never a bitter loser whenever he lost, no matter what round he lost in.
Yep.
No, he was, like you guys said, class act and a great spokesman and ambassador for the game of tennis as we know it today. So, much respect to him.
Big up to Federer. Thank you for everything.
And I want to give a big shout out to my brothers here and my brothers at home, Trey and Pat, and our 25th episode. I don't think anybody. Cool. So I'm so appreciative of you guys, and I love you guys so much. And definitely looking forward to the next 25. And it's definitely been an awesome ride so far. And little bumps in the road here and there, but this is what we love to do. And Jay, how long we've been talking about doing this? Mike and I did a podcast back in college and been talking about getting it back going. So now we've done it, and look at 25 in. We got thousands of more to go. Yeah. You're not getting rid of Cinco Squad, but
no, boys, and I'll win the next 25.
Hey, you got to tone down over there. You know why you need to tone down? Because you're going down this weekend in fantasy. Only one person on this screen might be, only put it this way. 2 of us are going to end up being 2-0 once you do what you got to do against your dad. We got a Sawyer versus Sawyer battle going on right now.
Sawyer versus Team Senior Sawyer.
So missed the 80 yards long of going head to head this weekend. Right now he's favored on the projections, but
by 2 points.
Those projections don't count for nothing.
No, they don't.
No, we never know about a game. But boys, it's been a great weekend. Everyone that's tuned in, thank you. We're blessed to have you guys looking and viewing us. And definitely tune in for the next 25 for us in the fall and the winter. And boys, have a good weekend. We'll talk here soon. I know we'll be talking in our group chat. Cinco Squad out.
Let's go Bucks. Let's get that win against the Saints.
Let's go Birds.